The truth is, Epstein had a free pass. He bragged about his powerful friends, including our current president, Donald Trump. It was his biggest brag, actually. And while what I endured will haunt me forever, I live every day with PTSD. I live as a mother trying to raise my child while distrusting a world that has betrayed me. This kind of trauma never leaves you.
His grip on the modeling business was undeniable. Not just the Ford family, but Victoria's Secret, Faith Cates, Jean-Luc Brunel, Victoria's Secret. Epstein's reach went to the very top of fashion. He could make a model's career. What I didn't realize then was that once he lured someone like me in, he could also destroy my career if I did not do what he wanted me to do. In New York City, countless young women were abused by him. Everyone in the industry knew, yet he was too powerful to stop.
So often we talk about this Epstein scenario, this Epstein files saga, without remembering real victims are behind these kinds of operations. I have two people on the show to provide us with some insight as well as an opportunity to be advocates. Training services manager is on the show. We actually went to school together, Latasha Norris. How are you, sister?
I'm doing wonderful. Thank you so much for having us today.
Thank you for being here. And we also have Mr. Delton McGee. Is that correct?
Yes, sir. Thank you for having me.
Thank you for being here, Director of Receiving Hope Center.
Yes,
Before we get into the connection to the segment we just played, Ms. Norris, if you would give us the background to what you do for a living.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much. So I am the training services manager for Wellspring Living. For those of you that may not be familiar with Wellspring, we're a nonprofit organization that has served survivors of human trafficking and sexual exploitation for over 24 years. And so my specific role currently is to provide some internal and external support to our staff as well as the community by bringing awareness and prevention around human trafficking, understanding barriers that plague families and children and those that are vulnerable in ways that put them at risk of being exploited or being trafficked.
And dear brother, what do you do as Director of Receiving Hope Center?
Absolutely. Thank you for having me again. My name is Delton McGee. I'm the Director of the Receiving Hope Center. We're Georgia's first receiving center in the state. And what that means is we provide shelter and comprehensive services to CSEC youth, which is commercial sexual exploitation of children. We provide housing, therapy, education, therapeutic services, and forensic interviewing services to teens 12 to 17-year-olds.
I wanted you all to state your credentials and what you do and why you do what you do, because we don't have this conversation enough. And so here's where I want to go. Obviously, we have big headlines around these elements, but we're not digging deep into the why, into the opportunities to serve in the ways we can actually be helpful, see signs, et cetera. So, Ms. Norris, I'm going to start with you. What are some elements that people would be shocked if they knew was around them? For example, we've had homes in the state of Georgia that were busted, and neighbors said, "Oh my goodness, I had no idea." What are some of the signs?
Yeah, definitely. I think one, you already kind of mentioned it, is familial trafficking, which is on the rise. This is when a youth or a person is being trafficked within their own family. And so it's really hard for children specifically to identify that something is not right. Something is wrong with this. This is not something that I should be doing, because it could be something that's passed down generationally. It could be, they're in survival mode and this is what they see on a regular basis. So it has become their norm. And so it's really important. People are oftentimes shocked, to know that this is happening even within the family from your caregivers or caretakers. And so it's important even more so that we are able to spread this awareness and prevention to make sure that people that are interacting with these children or that are interacting with the public are able to have the information that they need to make educated decisions to be impactful in a way that helps to save lives.
Well said. Ms. McGee?
Yeah, and just to expound on that even further, I think we all neglect that the signs are there. It's just number one is education. We're not educated on what to look for. I think the majority of time we think it's just what's sensationalized in movies where we'll see the white van or the Takens, for example. They took my child and I have to go get her back type of situation. But we're not taking into account that it happens in every neighborhood, whether it be rich or not. But it most likely happens in those environments that are neglected, underappreciated, racial disparity, systemic inequalities. That's where it's happening most of the time, but it does happen in every environment around us. And some of the things that we can look for are just typical signs of somewhat of abuse. If it looks strange, we need to start paying attention to those things that look obviously strange to us, as opposed to turning a blind eye to those things. So, for example, it could be a child who clearly is a teenager with an adult or an adult group. It can be just as simple as a kid who has some things that they normally wouldn't have, like designer shoes and bags and all those type of things. Those are some basic signs that we look for that are telltale that we might ignore because we might think of it as commonplace.
We have an event coming up. I'm going to talk about that in just a moment. But I want to come back to you, Mr. McGee, because a few years ago when I got involved in being an advocate, I remember the first meeting I went to. It was with a group called Pink Boots on the Ground. And it had to be about 95% female-based women. And I assumed that it was a little more diverse, given the protective nature of a husband, or the protective nature that we have in us. And I was shocked to learn that the advocacy and sometimes even the rescues, like literally rescuing individuals from these environments, led by women. So to have a man at the helm is unique, at least in my experience. So give us some background as to your why and also how more men can be involved.
Absolutely. That's a great point. One reason I'm involved is, number one, because I'm a father. I'm a girl dad. I'm a husband. I was raised by women, so and my father wasn't there. So those are some of my whys of why I do it. Another reason I do it is because the majority of our exploiters are males, right? And I want our exploiters and those participants who are exploited to recognize that there are men out here who are good for them. And part of my why is showing them how to be a man, how to treat you once you see it. And all of the exploiters are not trying to get something for them or see them in a way that the exploiter has led them to believe is normal, right? So those are some of the reasons why I do it. And I think it's important for males to be in this space to kind of give that perspective, because I'm just one male that's giving one perspective. And I think we all have a different perspective with our upbringings and backgrounds and things of that nature, where we can add, a positive outlook on how males are supposed to treat everybody and how we can impact each other.
Well said. Ms. Norris, I want to ask you, What are some of the stories? What are some of the cases that come to you?
They range, from one end of the spectrum to the next. It could be a youth that is being exploited by their family, as I mentioned, that familiar trafficking. It could be a person that was actually taken, from their family, and maybe several states over, that we may get a phone call that, do we have space, to accommodate this youth? It could be peer pressure, within our high schools, as Delton mentioned, we service youth between the ages of 12 to 17. And so that means that middle school, high school age, the exploiter isn't showing up at the schools, right? They are utilizing their peers, teens that look just like them, that allow them to let their guard down so that they can easily begin to recruit even within our schools. We need to be aware that this is an epidemic that is not just a global issue, but it's happening right in our backyards, literally in our schools, in our churches, in our malls, places that we congregate on a regular basis. This is where exploitation definitely has breeding ground.
First responders, people that work in convenience stores. Like, we have a law in Georgia where there's supposed to be a sign up that says, "Hey, if you notice these things, you can report it to these areas." A lot of stores don't comply with that law, but we have an opportunity to train folk. We have an opportunity to talk about this out loud and to make sure individuals are informed. Can you tell everyone about that and how they can participate?
Yes, definitely. So we have our Activate 2025 conference that is coming up November 6th and 7th of 2025. This is a conference for awareness, collaboration, transformation, innovation, voice, and anti-trafficking engagement. And what this means is that we don't want to just reach those individuals within our state. We want to be able to cross state lines if applicable, right? Because human trafficking is happening everywhere. And this provides us an opportunity to remove some of those myths and stereotypes around human trafficking and to provide some education and some facts around how to be involved. Who are the policymakers? Who are the district attorneys, those law enforcement individuals that are working in education, those first responders, as we mentioned, that receive that phone call and is trying to triage or to transport a youth or an adult to safety. And so this conference, we cast our net wide, but we definitely want to be able to invite the community and the state at large until seats are filled, so that we are able to provide that level of education that people need to be aware.
Well said. Well said. Um, to our dear brother, I'm thankful for your leadership, man. I'm just glad more males are involved in this space. For you, knowing that the opportunity to train is coming up, folk may not be able to make that. For you, what would you tell individuals they can do to be empowered if they want to get involved in this space and be an advocate?
Absolutely. I think, number one, if you can't make it to the trainers, some of the things that we can start doing is recognizing that tapping into your community. Community is first. Reaching out where you are to see what resources we have available. I know in the state of Georgia, we do have our CSEC hotline, our human trafficking hotline that can be reached anytime you have a need that way. We have the busiest airport in the world. The collaboration is the key. We connect with DFAX, DJJ, our great mayor of the state, the city of Atlanta. We have tons of collaborative partners around the state where we can reach out to see how we can support. Reaching out to us at Wellspring Living to see how you can reach out and get in contact locally. These are some ways, but start at home and then reach out into your community to see how your community is impacted, and then reach out to us if need be. If you can't make the trainer, reach out to us and we can, connect you within your community and around the country.
I'll add one thing, Rashad, real quick. As far as training goes as well, we do offer training through Wellspring Living. I host a segment called Thursday Talks at the Table. This is a free event that is often shared through Eventbrite. And this is a platform where I'm able to have different individuals and organizations that are making impact in the community in one place at one time. We know that a lot of individuals that are being exploited, part of those vulnerabilities that they are experiencing is because of barriers. And so we want to be able to share conversation about what is going on in the community, what resources are available to help possibly remove some of those barriers so that that decreases the opportunity of a person to be exploited and they don't fall at risk of being exploited.
This is, excuse me, this is, if you would, give out that information again for the upcoming training, and also how people can connect directly to Wellspring if they're not able to come to the training, or if they just need some more information.
Okay. Could I give my email address? That is
whatever you want.
It's lnorris@wellspringliving.org. Again, that's lnorris@wellspringliving.org. If you shoot me an email, I would gladly respond. If you're not able to make it to the conference, but you're interested in training within your organization, even if you are not working directly with survivors of human trafficking, we would love to be able to educate you and provide information around what this actually looks like so that you are better able to support individuals within your community and within areas that you serve as well.
But thank you so much to you both. Very thankful for your continued leadership. You all do this every single day. Every single day. Brother, I have to ask. I'm going to pose this to both of you before I go. I know you're nonpartisan, so I'm not going to ask you to say anything partisan or put you in the corner, but how has the national conversation about human sex trafficking changed the way you all position or operate in the public?
I think it's made a huge impact. To bring it in personally, where I might have some friends that's visiting from another state to come into Atlanta. Atlanta is hip hop culture. We have the strip club culture. All of those things have changed my perspective on all of these activities that we would normally frequent, right? So when those things happen, and I experience a youth in my facility that may have been in one of those strip clubs, it makes me look at everything differently. So it just changed my perspective totally. And it makes me go back to that space of like, we all need education on what this looks like, what to look for. And so we can try our best to eradicate it totally.
Yeah. And I'll say for me, being a graduate of Clark Atlanta, let me just start there. The Whitney M. Young Junior School of Social Work definitely prepared us to be sensitive to other cultures. That Afrocentric perspective goes a long way. And so in my heart of hearts, I always think about children. Children become adults, right? And so if we're able to intervene early, you have the opportunity to change the trajectory of someone's life. Period, point blank. And so I'm always hyper vigilant anywhere I am. If teens are around me or adults are even around me, I'm providing education. I want to share what I know. I want to make sure that they understand. I want to be that safe person that you can come to report or to share any information. And I think that that's really important, taking advocacy to the next level by sharing what you know and not just holding on to it.
Amen to that. Thank you both. I'm glad that we were able to not talk about the other stuff and talk about the people that are heroes to so many every day. You both do that every single day, and we applaud you for it. If there's anything you need from us, just let me know. And I look forward to seeing you all in just a few days.
Thank you so much, Rashad.
Thank you.
Thank you.